Welcome to BossUp Babes, helping babes show up, boss up, and thrive. With #1 best-selling author, global influencer, and ultimate boss babe, Carissa Adkins. Carissa is a health and wellness expert and CEO of the 365 Daily Hustle, here to help mompreneurs and career women boss up and reclaim their healthiest life. She is a pro at cutting through the BS and inspiring massive breakthroughs that help women create healthy routines and habits that facilitate personal and professional growth. Are you ready to reclaim your best life, take action, and be a badass boss babe? Let's get to it.
What up, ladies? Hello, queens. Welcome to another amazing episode of Boss Up Babes. Welcome to the show. If you're brand new, I just want to say, hey, girl, hey. If you are coming back for your maybe second, third, fourth dose, I just want to say welcome back. I am your host, Carissa Adkins, the #1 mindset and women's health expert. And lady leaders hire me to help them level up in their life, their health, and their businesses. But ladies, grab your pen and paper because today we are exploring what it means to be a business wildflower in today's market and how we can embrace the sustainable, holistic approach to doing business. Because let's face it, the old way is probably not going to get you into the new way of doing business in the next, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So you've got to just really embrace the change and roll with the punches there. So get ready to unlock your marketing secrets and tap into your creative genius because I have an amazing guest for you today. But before I bring Megan on, let me give you a little life update. So I just got done on a coaching call with my coach, right? I feel like I have one of the best coaches in the world. His name is Alok. And when I said yes to Alok, I actually said yes to working with 7 coaches. I mean, he is like the master and the leader behind it all. And then I've got, support in all areas of life, even from hormone support to, business strategy support, mindset support. That's one of the reasons why I said yes to this program. However, today on our call, he really talked about the whole concept of be, do, and create. Now, some of you may have heard of be, do, and have. But he said have is the outcome, right? Once you be who you are and you do what you need to do, you'll have, of course, the outcome. And this is kind of true in all areas of life. But he is reframing it. And he truly said he's I believe in the be, do, create concept. And I'm going to take it one step further because I've been thinking on this and pondering on this. And he said, be, do, create. I'm going to say be, do, create, and impact. And the reason why I'm going to add that word in there is because when you be who you be in this world, the beautiful, whether you're the wildflower or you're the crazy, bold, audacious personality. So once you are that woman and you start doing things like that woman would do, eventually you're going to start creating a world where you like to play in. And therefore, impact is just automatically going to happen. So I am curious if you're listening to this, how does that sit with you? Be, do, create. It's beautiful. And then how does be, do, create, impact sit with you as well, right? Because I feel that for many, many years, I was being somebody that I wasn't. I was trying to please everybody, and yet I was pleasing no one, including myself. I just felt like I wore so many masks, faking it all the time. And I wasn't being my true authentic self. And that definitely stopped the creative juices on the doing part of life and definitely the creating and the impacting. So you have to be you, the most beautiful, authentic version of you. And then part of manifest and part of mindsetting, mindset work is you have to first identify who you want to be in this world. Then you have to start doing it. This is where a lot of coaches and course creators are not executing. They're not, they're not walking the walk. They may be talking it, but are they really walking it? Are they doing the things that they need to be doing so that they can create the things that they want to be creating so that they can leave the impact they want to be impacting? I want to impact 1 million women this year. I want to help them boss up, get healthy, grow businesses, and leave an impact, right? Leave a legacy in their life. And I feel like I am being that woman, right? I'm doing and being her. I am creating, right? I'm always creating with collaborations and coaching programs and mentorship. I'm creating impact on a big level. I mean, I'm going to Spain to speak, Europe again for the second time this year. And therefore I am impacting. And so it's just kind of a really cool concept. I'm curious as how that lands for you. But anyways, like I said, today I have brought a special guest, and her name is Megan, and she is the founder and CEO of Fox Studio. And just a few words that describe this beautiful, beautiful woman and leader is hippie, artist, mama, resilient, empathic. Now I'm curious, if you're listening, like which one of these words really resonates with you? Can you like tap into that hippie zone? Are you an artist or a creator? Are you a mom? Are you resilient, or are you an empathic woman? Well, Megan is the CEO and founder of Fox Studio, brand coach and website designer for female-led businesses. So with that, Megan, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I like to just dive right in. I really want to just kind of, I know it's not your brand. We've had that like talk before, but bossing up to me is like, it's like a verb, right? It's an action step. It's like, okay, this is where I'm at in my life, and in order for me to get there, I have to boss up. And I pretty much am like trying to create this beautiful women's empowerment movement where it's okay to take courageous action steps to get to where you want to go. But I am curious, in Megan's beautiful world, what would boss up mean to you?
I think it's that same courageous step, but you're embracing your most authentic self. Like you're really identifying what makes you unique, what makes you stand out in the crowd. That's why my whole brand is built on wildflowers, because they have this resilience and they're unique. So for me, that's just how I view that. Like it's incredibly courageous to be incredibly authentic and show that to the world at the same time. You
Yeah.
really put yourself out there.
I love when you said like just put yourself out there, be authentic to the world. I feel like that's it's a skill, right? It can be learned, because there are a lot of women who are like, I don't feel like I can put myself out there. Like I didn't come out of my mom's womb thinking, oh, I'm just going to put myself out there. Like that's my bold personality. However, as much as I like to put myself out there, I always like to come back to myself and like fill up my own tank, right? Like that's how I'm able to kind of show up and put myself out there. But I think a lot of women find it hard to be truly authentic. Why do you think this is? And do you find this to be true in your industry?
I think it's one of the hardest steps when I start to work with women, because really taking the time to figure out who that is to begin with, because we're always filling everybody else's cup and telling, taking care of other people. But then we're not told that it's safe to be that authentic, to be loud, to take up space, to declare our wants first. And so it's creating a new narrative. I think we really need to create a new narrative around that's okay to say those things, to say your wants and needs, and have huge desires and huge dreams. Like that's okay. And it's safe to do that.
Oh my God, ladies, she's bringing like amazing tips and strategies from start to finish. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So now that we've like defined what boss up means to you, I'm curious, tell me about a time in your life or your business where you had to boss up, where you had to kind of, step outside of your comfort zone, get a little uncomfortable, and take some courageous action steps. Tell me a little bit about you.
I think starting my own business was that. Like I had just come from a horrible relationship. I had just had my third son, and I was told that I need to go back to work. I need to put him in daycare and go back to work. And this is just the way you did it.
Okay.
And I was like, no, there's got to be a better way.
Mm.
I know that I have this skill. I'm self taught in everything that I do. I know that I'm incredibly intelligent and I can relate to these women and I can put myself out there. So every day for me is a step in that. Like, am I showing up as authentic as I can be? Am I being transparent about this journey? Because it's not always easy. Am I sharing how it's possible? Like, what are the actual steps we take to live this authentic life and grow a business around the life you want to live, whatever that dream is.
Right. I love that. So you had mentioned, you kind of was saying, hey, I could and need to go back into the working world. But do I want to go back and do it for myself now, or do I want to go back and work for somebody else? What were some of like the biggest challenging moments when trying to make that decision?
I guess the biggest thing is the stability. Like, I am the sole breadwinner. So will this be stable enough? And I did work part-time when I first started my business to make ends meet, because we had to be realistic about like what is possible and what it needs to happen. So I think that was the hardest decision, like the stability of it all, and just like what other people would think. Like,
Mm,
here I am stepping out into the world. I'm declaring that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is my passion. And it's not always understood. It's not. So I think those are the biggest struggles. And even the women that I support, like that's some of the discussions we have too.
absolutely. So how would you say how did you like make the decision? Because knowing it and then doing it, big different story. Like, yes, like I think I heard right. You got real with yourself. You're like, okay, I'm going to need to at least work a little bit so that I can still support at the end of the day, bottom line, support the family. But like, what were like the baby steps on that besides doing that? How did you get to like actually, because a lot of women flirt in that zone where it's like, I'm just going to like work here part-time and I'm also going to do this. How did you make the full switch?
I think it was the minute I invested in myself and a business coach.
Mm,
That investment clicked something, like I am all in. This is going to work. I no longer waited for the other shoe to drop. I never
yeah.
I never wanted to hesitate about decisions I was making, clients I was taking. And I said, you know what, I'm all in on this. This is
Mm,
what I really want to do. And it came down to my why.
mm,
Like, why I want to do this is the freedom to be there for my kids, to have the time and space. And so when I really dove deep into my why,
mhm.
I said, okay, I've invested in myself. I know my why. It's time to just go all in. And ever since I've gone all in, I have 10 times my income. I have really grown into what I am today.
I love that. I love that. So ladies, if you're listening and if you're trying to like catch all of these beautiful golden nuggets, right? She had to get clear with herself with like why she was doing this, why she was deciding to kind of wanting to go into business for herself. She had to invest. She realized like, okay, I'm all in. So that is a tip all on its own. Like that commitment to say that I'm all in, right? It's kind of like burn the ships because I ain't coming back, right? Like there's no plan C, D, E, and F. Like I'm going in with plan A and I will figure it out. Like you said, you're self-taught. And then the third thing is that you invested in a coach. You realize that, okay, if I want to get from A to Z and I'm all in, I've got to invest in myself by hiring a coach to help me with the A, B, C, and D's and whatever's. So while we're on the coaching subject, because I obviously as a coach, and you're a coach, right? We're both believers in having coaches and the importance of having a mentor and having someone to kind of like challenge you and push you a little bit. What would be some like two key qualities that if someone's like in your situation and they're trying to find a coach, what would be like two key qualities that you think that makes a good coach?
First, they have to really hear you. Like, they really have to hear you. They have to hear your heart. Like, they should have lengthy conversations with you. There should be no hesitation to communicate with you about like during that whole process of getting to know you. And two, that coach was where I wanted to be.
Hmm.
They were 3, 4 steps ahead of me. And that's so important. I didn't want a coach that was right here with me. I needed someone to show me and provide evidence that that's possible and they're living the life that I want to lead.
Yeah, and I bet that made a difference. Like, gosh, when I've hired every coach of mine, they've been 10 times ahead of me, right? If I want $1 million business, they're working with billionaires, right? Like I'm like, okay, I want
Right.
to do that. If I want to be speaking on stage, when I hired my very first speaking coach, I'm like, okay, but you've already paved the way in the speaking world. Like you already know tons of people, like that's important. But obviously with that, with the expert level that you're getting, you obviously then have to invest in more, right? Like you're not working with a coach who's like, okay, let's do this together and let's learn this process together. So how did you just kind of like, I mean, would you agree that that was true? Like that coach specifically was probably a little higher than some other coaches you could have worked with, but like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
It was an investment, but it was worth, I tell people every time, it was worth 10 times what I paid
I
because
love
of what I got out of it.
that.
And where my business is now today would not have been possible on my own.
I love that. You guys, don't be afraid to invest in yourself. It will come back. The ROI on hiring a coach, like Megan said, is 10 times the, is what it's weight in gold, right? So cool. Okay, cool. So I am curious, right? You named your beautiful business Fox Studio, but Wildflower, like you have coaching programs around that. Like, what does it mean to be a wildflower in today's market?
Oh my gosh. Well, it needs to just not only stand out, because I think that there's this certain tempo or look about social media or big brands, like, but it's a resiliency. Wildflowers grow in the harshest conditions over and over and over again. And I think to have a business in today's market, you have to be resilient. You have to keep showing up day in and day out for your business. There's no one else who's going to stand up for your business like you will. And so that's why I say that is you need to be a wildflower CEO. You need to not only be who you are inside, like 100% unique, but you need to embrace that. And then you need to show up constantly for that.
Oh my God. Like I would have never thought like wildflower, like the resiliency part, you're absolutely right. I mean, they grow anywhere. I mean, in ditches to garden pots, like anywhere, like they will pop up and they continuously show up every year, every year, every year. And then they spread, right? Like they'll just start spreading and oh, that's so beautiful. So resiliency in your business is key and really figuring out how you can show up consistently because as you know, right, you're in the digital space, right? Consistency is king, like
Right.
anything. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm all about sustainability. When I coach my ladies, you may know, you may not, but like I have two passions, right? Two sides of my coaching business. One is to help women get healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, not just physically, right? Yes, that's the easy part. Losing the weight's the easy part, but mentally and emotionally getting them like into being like these amazing boss up strong women, right? That take these courageous action steps. And the other passion of mine is helping online business owners, female specifically, grow and scale their empires, because who doesn't want to become financially free and travel the world and do all these amazing cool experiences? I know you and I share that passion for wanting to kind of travel and just live life to the fullest. But sustainability is a huge passion of mine, either whatever side you're on, right? Like you can lose weight very quickly and you will gain it back if you don't build the habits that create that sustainable life, the health life. You can grow a business very fast, but I have seen businesses fall like that because they can't sustain the growth and the pace that they're on. So why do you think sustainable and a holistic approach is the best way to be in business?
I think it goes back to creating a brand around your lifestyle. I serve a lot of moms because I am one, and we just don't have time to do all of the things. And if you are just throwing spaghetti at the wall or throwing these different trends at the wall, nothing is going to stick. You're not going to stick to it. You have to create those habits. And everything that I do with my clients is a tool for their toolbox. And we decide how that tool works in their lifestyle and how they can show up consistently using that tool. Because if you don't show up consistently in a sustainable way, you won't keep at it. It's just like anything in the health world or any sort of habit. If you don't do it continuously, you're not going to get that habit. So we
Right.
use tools that we can use all the time.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of a slow growth, but it's sustainable. You can do it for a really long time, and it grows at a pace that you can grow with it. And you learn from every step that you take, right? So for me, we look at the whole, like the whole person and your life that you have going on, because not every strategy works for every person and every business. And then we look at what you can do on a continuous basis to really grow your business.
Awesome. And ladies, if you haven't read her bio and you're like, what does she even do? Like, let's just take a minute or two and tell women what you do and how you help them. Like, you talk about these tools. Like, I want you to now just brag about your beautiful business and how you help these women grow their empires as well.
Okay, so there's two different ways. First, I do brand coaching. So I take your business and I teach you these tools. So from social media graphics to your website to SEO to email marketing, we take all of these different tools, and over 6 months, we talk about how you can grow your brand. So we revamp your website. We talk about how you show up on social media to really grow your audience. And then I do website designing, so that I take your website and we develop a strategy around your website, because a website is a tool. And so I design you a beautiful website, but what do you do with that website afterwards? So we talk about the strategy behind it. How do we boost it with SEO? How do you write blogs or do podcasts or collaborate with other entrepreneurs to really grow your brand and develop you as the expert? So that process is my favorite process of all. I love to develop a website and really give you the tool to help you gain leads or educate your clients, all while you live your life, so that you're not constantly on social media promoting yourself. That's what your website is for. It's a tool to help you promote your brand.
Gotcha. So ladies, stop just thinking like, oh, I built my website, check, what's next on the business list? Like, you actually have to use the tool. Sometimes you got to sharpen it multiple times, right? Just like in the tool shed, or the knives in the kitchen, right? They don't stay sharp all the time. It's kind of how I like to look at a website. I've personally went through 3 different websites, like in just a matter of 4 years, right? I've evolved every year where I'm like, man, that brand doesn't really sit with who I am when I started. Like, I have to evolve. My website needs to evolve. The functions, the features, right? Like, it used to be, right? You would just go to someone's website to like check out their hours and to like check out their information, like read their values and all those kinds of things, just to kind of get a relationship before you would work with those people. But now, like, websites are like literally lead magnet tools, like ways to show up, on search engine. Like, oh my gosh, you guys, there's so much information out there. So you mentioned, like creating the business around the lifestyle. I freaking love that. I want to go in deeper on this because so many of the lady bosses that I serve, their businesses are out of control. I mean, they're 6-7 figure businesses, right? And they're like, I don't have my personal life. I can't, like, they're trying to now do it backwards. They're trying to go backwards and like fix their personal life around their business. So why do you think that that's so important to do it the other way around? Like, if you're starting a business, you say start with your life first. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about it.
Right. Because if you go in thinking I would create this business and my life becomes this business, there's suddenly no boundaries. And then you're on your phone constantly. You can't sleep because you're thinking about it. We look at like, what's the lifestyle you want to leave? For me, I want to travel. So my business needs to be mobile. I'm a website developer. I can work anywhere that there's internet.
Yeah.
Right. So I built this business and the women I want to serve around the lifestyle I want to lead. And when I talk to my clients, it's really important that I say, what is your goals? What are your dreams 10 years down the road? Let's build you a website that serves that. Because my website can take leads, can educate people about my services, can do all of these things while I'm away from my business. Right. And so it's really important to look at what kind of life and what is your goals time down the road before you really jump into the strategy. That is the strategy of why we do this.
I love that. The reverse engineer strategy, right?
Yeah.
Start with the end goal and then work your ass backwards.
Yeah.
Build that business around the life that you truly want to create. Okay, cool. With the last couple of minutes we have, rapid fire, what are like 2 biggest mistakes that women make when it comes to their website or their brand? Two big mistakes that you
They
commonly.
just, we go into it doing the cheapest, quickest options. We say, I'm just going to put something up there. But what you don't realize is every time you revamp it, you got to start over again.
Mhm.
So you're always starting from scratch. Why not reverse engineer it? Why not start there? And then really not having a clear brand before you put it out on social media. Like, what is your foundations? What are your values? What is your mission before
Mhm.
you put a pretty graphic up?
Yeah.
Because we want clear messaging to talk to the audience that we're trying to reach. So, because confused people don't buy is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, trying to appeal to everyone. And really, you're
Yeah.
like, why aren't they all coming to me? It's like the biggest mistake I see in my coaches too. I'm just like, no, like, who are you really serving? And that's like, I kid you not, I'm a rebel, yes. And even my coach and like who I got certified through like a long time ago, they would say, Carissa, niche down. I'm like, I'm working with women. They're like, girlfriend, 50% of the population is women. Like, keep niching. And even as a coach, I am niching still to this day. Like, literally, I'm like, should I be working with pageant queens or speakers? Or like, I'm just like, again, you evolve, your business evolves, your brand evolves, and that's really cool. So Megan, thank you so much for your time today. I truly appreciate you showing up and pouring your heart and soul into this podcast and just giving it your all, giving us the tips and the strategies. And you guys, if you need any questions, right? She has two programs. One is like, let me do it for you, right? Like, let me build you the website, help you create the vision, get very, very crystal clear on what that looks like. And that's a beautiful thing because there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there like me that I'm like, I ain't got time. Like, let's just sit down, figure out my vision, and then I'm going to let you run with it. And then she said she had a coaching program that like is kind of like a done with you. She wants to teach you and she wants to educate you on how you can do these things. So if you have a team member that's like in charge of all of your SEO and your websiting and all that jazz, like that would even be a great program for y'all. So if you are looking to boss up, level up, and show up more in your business, if you're looking to really grow and scale like nobody's business, feel free to reach out to Megan. She's got some amazing things going on. Her links are, of course, in the chat below or in the show notes, wherever you're catching this episode. And if you're looking for a mindset reset, if you're looking to finally lose the weight in a sustainable way, feel free to reach out to me. I only work with impact-driven lady leaders. And what does that look like? It's just a woman who makes powerful damn decisions, who says, yes, I want something better for myself. I want to impact more people. I want to, be the best version of me. And if that's you and you are meant for more and you're tired of playing small, I want to encourage you to book that free 15-minute clarity call with me. And if you haven't yet, please take 2 minutes out of your day to fill out my amazing quiz. It's a wellness personality quiz. So you're going to learn two things, right? One, you're going to figure out your own Boss Up Babes personality, which is really totally rad. You'll be like, oh my God, that is me. And then the second thing is based on your personality, you guys, you are going to be able to, you'll get delivered 5 tips on how you can get healthy and wealthy and create that sense of wellness in your life. So you're going to have 5 strategies. So I promise you, it's well worth your 2 minutes to fill that out. And with that, ladies, I hope to see you next week for another badass episode of Boss Up Babes. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to Boss Up Babes with Carissa Adkins, bringing you tangible tips and expert coaching advice to help you boss up and get healthy. Tune in every Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com for interviews with industry leaders and powerhouse boss babes that will empower you to take action and live your best life. If you're ready to boss up and work with Carissa in one of her transformative group coaching programs, visit 365dailyhustle.com.